Okay. Hi, everybody. If you're 45 or older, or even 40 or older, now, talk to your doctor, schedule colonoscopy. Shorten the camera. Don't know if this is going to make it. If you're hearing this now, we made it, because when I go to shut this off, if I wiggle the camera a little bit, we lose connection and the whole thing disappears. So, we're going for it. We're in the 90s here in Minnesota. Humidity is in the 80s and 90s. Celsius, the temperature is in the 40s. This is 1 gallon of tap water, well water, Minnesota well water, and 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate. We're giving it for the generation of chlorophyll. It will help in the making of chlorophyll. It's essential in the making of chlorophyll. Not that we're finding any deficiencies, we're staying ahead of it. And then it's also got sulfur in it, and sulfur is a good component for making your terps. So I suggest you once or twice a week. I'm doing it about every 3 days. Twice, because I'm foliar spraying with other stuff too. Compost or activated aerated compost tea. Anyways, we're gonna hit this. We're just gonna, for the time being, until the second week of flower, we're gonna do top and bottom of the leaves. After the second week, we're just gonna do under the side of the leaves, and staying away from the canopy. Everything's organically grown with bone meal, blood meal, homemade dried clay dust, I guess. Bottom and top of the leaves here. Fermented plant juice, fermented fruit juice, nightcrawler castings, a little bit of that we're using now, and I used a little bit early this spring, organic orchid bloom. Just I like the different kind of microbes that it has. It has very large colony forming properties, I guess you'd say, or I'd say. So all I'm doing is spraying the complete bottom underside of this plant. And because we're using my trainers, it's possible to do that. We have access to all the whole underside of the plant. It is actually very close to the ground, but I have all kinds of access underneath it. I'm just finishing this first plant here, and then I'll show you what I'm doing here on these other ones. This one here that I'm working on now is far more trained. It's only trained out one more time, but it's substantially more trained than the other two over here. Just as a little experiment to see what kind of buds form. I know these two over here are going to form big giant colas. I want to see more inner canopy, maybe smaller nugs. I don't know, just experiment for different kinds of cultivars and different kinds of situations. This is only the second year that I've trained out plants like this. If you look at last year's 13-foot wide plant, that was a seed plant. These are 3 White Widow clones that are 21 years old. A buddy of mine's had this plant for 21 years and he blessed me with it this year, and we're going to give it the best possibility of hopefully living up to his standards at the very least. But it's a top and bottom foliar spray. I like using these wands for spraying and feeding also, because I can get under there towards the roots. I can't really dump a bucket on the root system or the root zone so easily with this training method. So you're going to want some kind of hose or something, funnel to get your water down there. I do a few different things. I'm going to be aerating the soil here tomorrow, and tomorrow morning the whole root zone will be getting a activated aerated compost tea that is dialed in for bloom using bone meal predominantly, and then nightcrawler castings. The nightcrawler castings were also dialed in with for bloom with bone meal. Hope you guys are getting a good view of what this is doing here. A lot of people, I would say 90% of the people around me do not understand what a trained out plant like this means. The other part that do understand don't fucking believe me, and when I tell them I have a channel, go look at it, they resist looking. So don't think that I have some easy way of getting this out to you guys. I will reiterate again, it is possible for every one of you, inside, outside, to grow a plant like this with hardly any effort. As far as the structure, I put a lot of work into the nutrients for these plants, and I take care of them. But as far as the training is concerned, it's just an idea, and that's the only effort I've really put into these plants. It's a miracle is what it is. I am flabbergasted that I was blessed to come up with this process. Now, these plants are being trained at the moment, but soon, once we start getting some buds formed on here, I'm going to reveal the other side of these plants, and you'll be able to see a better view of the bottom side of these, because this is a berm here, so you can see, I can't even come close to reaching the roots on this plant. That's through this. I gotta get all the way under there with that. I take off the tip so it just runs out, and stick it over towards the root zone of my hill, my mound, and then I just let her buck. Pretty proud of this, people. Obviously, I guess, but yeah, it's a matter of finding either the funds to fund production, or a company that wants to join me, not just work with me or for me, it would be join me in this, because it's not just cannabis, it's many different kinds of agriculture. Picture if you're in a 3 or a 2 level grow in 12 feet, say, you can add a third level in that same 12 feet. Pipe all your nutrients and water in, and all you got to do is switch around your trainers every once in a while. They're reusable. Depending on how far you go, the plant then can hold up itself. All these branches are short enough to where when I'm picking them, I'm going to be going like this, and there's going to be a couple of buds coming off of here, and then a big one right here. All of them. And then you got the under canopy that is just lousy. Actually, these branches are going to have like 4 or 5 of them probably, but I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've done it this particular way. Last year they got a lot taller. They got twice as tall. I got sick for a few days. I had to work a couple extra weeks, and I didn't have the time to even come out here. Just was exhausted. I had heat stroke a couple of days. It was just, I'm surprised that plant even made it, to tell you the truth. Anyways, tomorrow morning, we're getting a foliar spray with the blood meal and bone meal, but mostly bone meal, activated aerated compost tea. It's going to be 2 cups to 1 gallon. And I'm going to foliar spray the whole top and bottom of this plant. I can reach into this plant with this wand and get underneath all these leaves. I see a freaking butterfly or moth right now. Put a stop to him. Anyways, I can't wait to see people to start using this. Now, unfortunately, our economy and our not infrastructure, our shipping abilities, and just everything's gone to shit these days. So I don't know how easy it's going to be to actually make these products. We're going to have plastic shipped in from somewhere. And then we have to ship the things out. It's not just the US that's going to want these things. I'm in Minnesota, by the way. Minnesota, the United States of America. Midwest, upper Midwest. Actually central. Upper central United States. Anyways. It's up to you guys. I've been doing what I can on the local level. But like I said, nobody understands what I've done here and the true potential. I will be showing a video of my pepper plant. My pepper plant is in the same position. It's this wide and only this tall. It's 3 times wider than it is tall. It's got 50 peppers on it right now and 100 blossoms. That's just a little experiment, a little side note. It's 2 years old. When it went in the house for winter, it got infested with aphids. First time I ever had aphids. First time I ever grew anything indoors. Aphids went crazy. It barely made it through winter. It had 3 leaves on it by the time I got it outside this spring. Or well, by the time we got it starting to produce leaves again. Now it's massive. So I need everybody to tell your friends. It's none of this stuff really that I'm doing that's making this thing grow. It's not a magic bullet, the nutrients that I'm feeding these things. It's opening this thing up to the sunlight and then not growing it up here to where you're stripping off all the growth. All the growth you would be stripping off if I was growing this right now up is all the stuff in the center of this plant. It would be gone. It wouldn't be there anymore. There wouldn't have been there in the first place because you would have stripped it all off. By laying it down, it opens up all those sites. It's just like unfolding origami. It's very special, people. It's got airspace. If it does get too tall, it freaking lollipops itself. That's what happened last year. That 6-foot tall plant that I walked through, that was 13 feet wide, that whole bottom lollipopped itself. So it creates its own airflow. You can create an even canopy Nothing has been high stress trained except for one branch that I accidentally broke trying to meld my trainers into another form of training, kind of like mash them together. It didn't work. These trainers are perfect on their own, and they work a couple different ways and do many different things. So I don't know what else I can do to find help to make these things. And until I do, I'm going to be the only one doing this. I am growing for my two buddies too, and maybe a couple other people in particular, but that's basically, well, I don't know. I mean, there's several reasons for this. In Minnesota, if you've only got a knee-high or a chin-high fence, you can only have chin-high plants. Even if you have a 6-foot, 8-foot tall fence, these plants grow bigger than that when they're not trained. Growing, now, this is my first clones that I've trained out like this. I did have a Re-Veg clone trained out with this, and I do now too at a buddy's house. But this is by far the largest they've gotten. This thing's handle wind. Like I said, they support themselves. You can inspect the whole canopy. You can get into the plants. If I wasn't sweating so bad, I would recommend, this is something a lot of people might not know. Human sweat is also a salt. And if you could collect it, you could probably put it in your bucket and spray it on your plants. But if you brush up against your plants and you're all sweaty, that's going to burn your leaves. So don't be surprised if you brush a plant or your leaves while you're sweating and come back tomorrow and you're like, what the hell's that? Why is my... Don't freak out. It's your sweat. Don't ask me how I know that. Anyways, folks, I do have a pretty easy time cloning in this atmosphere around here, that's for sure. But yeah, the activated aerated compost tea tomorrow will be a foliar and a root drench, or a root saturation, or whatever you want to call it. So keep an eye out for that video. Hope you guys like what you see here. I love each and every one of you. Stop all the infighting. Definitely when I get people together, there better not be no damn fighting. You ever seen a 210-pound fucking wrestler, somebody that wrestled his whole fucking life, throw down on somebody? Better be good. And I'll share all this with you. The technology and the benefit from it all. We're changing the way people grow things, not just cannabis. I don't have anybody else to help me right now. My bros are helping me, but they got their own thing going on. I need help with technology, I need a patent lawyer, I need a regular lawyer. Everything else that goes with building a business. And we need to be able to ship things into the United States and out of the United States freely. Or at least better than we are now. Thanks everybody for watching. And get a colonoscopy. Now, if I can get this shut off without wiggling it, we might have a video.